Praise God for the day. Just like to ask, how's everyone doing? Aamin na ako. Nakasimula ako ng masana kinikilig. Nakakabahan na ako. Pero para sa inyo, I'll overcome pride. Alright, why am I here now? Let me just begin by sharing what is my experience with pride. So, it started after college. Remember, I graduated in UST. I graduated with BSI. And for some reason, I thought of myself, parang, syempre I graduated one of the top 4 schools. Very na-expect ko, looking for a job would be very, very easy. Syempre pag pinakita ko resume ko, UST. Ayan, sabihin ng mga hunter na, okay to, guwapo pa. Pero hindi ganun nangyari. Lahat ng pipunta ako na trabaho, parang lahat ng pipunta ako na interview, they always say na, "Sir, we'll get back to you." Pag sinabi na ganun, alam mo na parang, if they tell you, "Sir, we'll get back to you," they won't get back to you. They won't. And I think that in itself, parang, it made me pride myself because I graduated in one of the top 4 schools. But in reality, just another regular graduate. I just want to share with you guys how I dealt with this pride. Because I think pride is a simple yet delicate topic for everyone. Because I believe everyone is experiencing this. So basically what we aim today is to answer 3 questions. First is, how can we have joy in pride? Parang alam natin usually the answer to pride is humility. But let me give you a different view of this. Second is, why is the gospel the ultimate answer to pride? And lastly, what should be our response to spiritual pride? Grabe, binabasa ko na lang malito. Right. Let me start with this story about Muhammad Ali. Kilala niyo ba si Muhammad Ali? Yeah, this is Muhammad Ali. If hindi niyo siya kilala, kung pupunta kayo sa Araneta Coliseum, may isang banner that says Thrilla in Manila. Yeah, si Muhammad Ali and si Joe Frazier. Basically, hindi siya yung nasa baba. Kasi parang pangat yung story pag kilala ko yung nasa baba naman. Right. Muhammad Ali is a former heavyweight boxing champion. Not really known for his humility. So this was a story about him when he was lumilipad siya on the airplane. Let me read you. During the flight, the aircraft ran into foul weather. It means the airplane was entering turbulence. So the pilot says, "Everyone, we are currently experiencing moderate turbulence." And now all nervous flyers know that when a pilot says moderate turbulence, it just means pag may chance ka magkaroon ng heart attack sa aeroplano, ito na yung oras. Ito na. So as the plane was jumping up and down, the flight attendant naglakad siya sa aisle. She was checking everyone just to see if everyone fastened their seatbelt. And to her surprise, only one man didn't seatbelt, and it was Muhammad Ali. She approached him, she said, "Sir, will you please fasten your seatbelt?" Sabi ni Muhammad Ali, "Superman don't need no seatbelt." Tapos, naisip yung flight attendant, and then she looked at him and said, "Sir, Superman don't need no airplane either." And, that's the joke, come on, guys! Thank you, Danny. You're always wonderful. Now the question here is, why do we always feel the need to be more than who we are? Have you ever asked yourself that? See, being Clark Kent has its advantages. This is Clark Kent. The only difference between Clark Kent and Superman is you remove this, he opened this shirt, and then it revealed this. Tapos yung clip na nasa labas. Yun yung difference lang. But sometimes it has its advantages. What is the advantage of being Clark Kent? It's Clark Kent who marries Lois Lane, not the other way around. It's not Superman who marries Lois Lane. See, pride operates with a sense of entitlement. See, Ali, in the story, wanted to be more than just Ali. He wanted to be Superman. Which begs us to question why. What is it about pride that makes us want that? It makes us want to be more than who we are. Alright, now, before anything else, let's define first our definitions here. Let's define what pride is. Pride derives from the French word prude, which is an old English word meaning arrogant, haughty, excellent, and even splendid. Just in a nutshell, it's just having a high sense of oneself. Let me give you an example. If A normal person asks me, what is your skill level in basketball? I might say, I just want to play basketball. But, example, it's, dating kalaban ko sa basketball. Example, my best friend, si Matthew, hindi magkalaban kami dati. He asked me, pare, anong skill level mo sa basketball? I might say to him something else. I'm pretty good at basketball, man. I'm pretty good. Now, why would I say this? See, pride operates with a high sense of self-regard for the self. You're always first. Even in the area of psychology, when you take a quick look at this, it's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. For those who don't know Abraham Maslow, he was a genius. He was born Jewish. Bigyan ko lang ng konting background. He was born with a high IQ. IQ niya is 195. Yet, he always failed school. He failed school because, sabi niya, he was in love. He was in love though, with someone. Turns out, inamin niya sa parents niya, he was in love with his first cousin. Then, not until nag-kiss sila ng cousin niya, until yung intelligence niya na-realize. So, what is the moral lesson here? Marry your first cousins. That's all. Come on, guys. This is a joke. Right. If you look at here now, the end point in Maslow's hierarchy needs is to self-actualize. It's to make you feel that you are Superman, but you are only Clark Kent. Now, I can't think of a better man who can relate to this situation other than Nebuchadnezzar. He was a man who wanted to be more than just Nebuchadnezzar, but God was quick to teach that those who walk in pride, He is able to humble. Read with me Daniel chapter 4, verses 24 to 37. But a little background. Nebuchadnezzar had a bizarre dream. He had this weird dream that we'll talk about in a while. And there's this character, Daniel, who interpreted the dream for him. Right. Daniel chapter 4, 24 to 37. Don't mind yung 4 to 5. So, this is Daniel interpreting the dream. Can you please read with me? This is the interpretation, Your Majesty, and this is the decree of the Most High as issued against the Lord the King. You will be driven away from people and will live with the wild animals. You will eat grass like the ox and be drenched with the dew of heaven. 7 times will pass by for you until you acknowledge that the Most High is sovereign over all kingdoms in the earth and gives them to anyone who wishes. But the command to leave the stump of the tree with its roots means that your kingdom will be restored to you when you acknowledge that heaven rules. Therefore, Your Majesty, be pleased to accept my advice. Renounce your sins by doing what is right, and your wickedness by being kind to the oppressed. It may be that then your prosperity will continue. All this happened to King Nebuchadnezzar. 12 months later, as the king was walking the roof of the royal palace of Babylon, he said, Is not this the great Babylon I have built as the royal residence, by my mighty power and for the glory of my majesty? Even as the words were on his lips, a voice came from heaven. This is what is decreed for you, King Nebuchadnezzar. Your royal authority has been taken from you. You will be driven away from people and will live with the wild animals. You will eat grass like the ox. 7 times will pass by for you until you acknowledge that the Most High is sovereign over all kingdoms on the earth and gives them to anyone he wishes. Immediately what had been said about Nebuchadnezzar was fulfilled. He was driven away from people and ate grass like the ox. His body was drenched with the dew of heaven until his hair grew like the feathers of an eagle and nails like the claws of a bird. At the end of that time, I, Nebuchadnezzar, raised my eyes toward heaven and my sanity was restored. Then I praised the Most High. I honored and glorified Him who lives forever. His dominion is an eternal dominion. His kingdom endures from generation to generation. All the peoples of the earth are regarded as nothing. He does as He pleases with the powers of heaven and the peoples of the earth. No one can hold back His hand or say to Him, What have you done? At the same time that my sanity was restored, my honor and splendor were returned to me for the glory of my kingdom. My advisors and nobles sought me out, and I was restored to my throne and became even greater than before. Now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and exalt and glorify the King of heaven, because everything He does is right, and all His ways are just. And those who walk in pride, He is able to humble. Guys, can you get the story itself? Now, if you get it, I can leave now. Thank you. Kevin? Joking. This is God's word. Now, what was the dream that Daniel was talking about here? That we were talking about here? What I'm about to show you is an accurate depiction, an accurate picture of what this dream was. Let me show you. Guys, are you ready? This is the exact depiction of it. This is an awful picture, I'm sorry. I couldn't find anything better in the internet. Right? What is happening here? What is the dream? I want you guys to just take a quick look at this at the bottom part. The roots are still intact. There's this gold band here, gold and silver band, and the tree was severed. Put that into mind. We'll try to dissect that later. Alright, so who is this Nebuchadnezzar guy? If you guys don't know Nebuchadnezzar, let me give you a quick backstory. Because the only thing I've heard about him is, the only thing funny about him is his name. Why? Because in the 6th century BC, he was the absolute monarch of the Babylonian Empire. He defeated the Egyptians, Assyrians, and subdued Palestine and Syria. He controlled all the trade routes across Mesopotamia. And Babylon was the most powerful city-state in the region. And he himself was the greatest warrior king. Ano meaning pag warrior king ka? It means when it comes to battle, he wasn't just in his palace sitting there instructing all the people na, oh, this is what you do, this is what you do. It means Nebuchadnezzar was with them in battle also. In addition to being one of the greatest rulers in the known world at that time, he also built great skyscrapers. Skyscrapers that were the things they can do at that time before. If you have heard of the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, and also the Ishtar Gate, these two are part of what we call the 7 ancient wonders of the world. Now, historians up to this date are trying to figure out how these guys built those things. Because with their material and with their technology before, it wasn't even possible, yet it was done. This tells you about Nebuchadnezzar. Right, and yet in the beginning of chapter 4, we know that in verses 45, we talk about the sleep of pride. Here is a man who in the right sense of the word, owns the world. Did you look at yung nakita niyo ba kung gaano kalaki yung kingdom niya? Ito yun, ito lahat, grabe, ang laki. And he was just here. So everything, lahat ng nakikita niya at that time was his own. So when we talk about the sleep of pride, here's a man who is disturbed in one of the most peaceful states, sleep. What this teaches us about pride? It teaches us that no matter how successful you think you are or will be, no matter how accomplished you think you are or will be, in the same words of Nebuchadnezzar, contentment and prosperity, the words that he used, that no matter how many awards you garner in your life, it's never complete. It's never complete. Why? Because the human heart, our heart, wants something in itself bigger than the world. Think for yourself. Why did I say that the gospel is the answer to pride? You already have Jesus Christ in your heart. And yet you yourself, we always crave for something more. Let's go back to this one. This is Maslow's hierarchy needs again. Maslow's hierarchy needs concept in his holistic dynamic theory assumes that when the lower needs are satisfied, lower needs must be satisfied first before moving to a higher level. Let me ask you guys, based on the verses that we read earlier, where do you think Nebuchadnezzar stacks up here? Where do you think he is? So tingin na saan siya dito? Do you think he's in the safety needs? Do you think he's in his belongingness and love needs? Do you even think he's in the physiological needs? Self-actualization? We'd like to think that, no? But actually, he was just in the esteem needs. Why do I say this? I'll tell you later. Alright. He's just in the esteem needs. Because, let me ask you, have you taken a look at those people who we try to idolize? Those artists, those people who we say change the culture, change the dynamic times today. And yet, who are those people that have experienced all the fancies in this life? They have traveled the world, they have talked in many countries, they have experienced the good things in life. And if you go and ask them right now, ask them, do you think that their life is complete? They'll probably say something else. No, it's not complete. It's not complete yet. Well, let me just offer you 3 basic questions again to ask yourself if you have pride in your heart. First is, ever tossed and turned at night because you've been snubbed by a friend? Not even personally nowadays. People can snub each other socially online. We have this concept now what we call scene zone, di ba? Na parang, pag nag-uusap kayo ng mga kaibigan mo, tapos, pare scene zone lang niya ako. Diba? Hindi ko pinansin. And then you feel bothered about it. You gotta ask yourself why. Second is, ever felt so irritated at the person speaking in front of you? Don't be. Kasi in-invite lang din ako. I'm irritated at the one who invited me. That's okay. Alright. Ever watched a TV show before? Ever watched an award show? Maybe a music show? And then you felt tears. Parang sabi mo sa sarili mo, I can do that. I can do better than that. Or parang may kaibigan ka na nasa stage, example, he's performing something like dancing. And you tell yourself, mas magaling naman ako dyan. Lastly, ever felt the need to always compare yourself to others? Now, if you can relate to some of these, you want to know why? Because at the heart of pride, pride makes us so convinced that we are owed everything. We are owed everything. What do I mean? C.S. Lewis, in his great book, Mere Christianity, has this chapter on pride. And he defines pride as something like this. Pride gets no pleasure out of having something, only out of having more of it than the next man. If I ask you, wasn't Nebuchadnezzar owed all of that success? Wasn't he the one who battled all those nations? It was him, diba? It was his army. They were doing it all for his name. Now, were you not deserving of your friend's adoration, your friend's attention, even your family's attention? Were you not deserving of it? See, like Nebuchadnezzar, we are not pleased with having what we have right now. I'm telling you this because this is a personal experience of mine. I can honestly tell you that before, I am not even in the slightest inch thankful for the things that I have in my life. I always crave for something more. That's why I know you guys can relate to this also. And as we see also in verse 30, Nebuchadnezzar wanted to affirm in himself that it was his doing. It was because of his power. It was because of his doing. That's why he had that big kingdom, Babylon. If you read here, Nebuchadnezzar says, "Is not this the great Babylon I have built as the royal residence by my mighty power and for the glory of my majesty?" Now, brothers and sisters, can you see yourself in Nebuchadnezzar's shoes? Can you relate to him somehow? Because maybe the things that he was thinking about before, the things he was priding himself with, are the same things that we are priding ourselves with today. Not to that extent of having a country or having an army, but relate it to your own way. It's because it's not enough that we're just acknowledged by others nowadays. We always want that need, that edge over the other person. If I know that my friend is good at basketball, I need to affirm to myself that I'm pretty good at basketball, not just good. Now, an acid test to see if you're in the process of healing yourself with pride is what C.S. Lewis again says. The easiest way to test yourself is, how much do I dislike it when other people refuse to take notice of me or patronize me or show off? You guys see how simple and delicate pride is? Simple, right? However, its effect on us, spiritually, mentally, physically, it's long-lasting. And if at this point you're telling yourself, I think I'm not capable of spiritual pride. I don't think it's possible for me to even think of myself as being prideful. But then you must know, in the signs and symptoms section of the Bible, the first sign of having pride is to deny that you have pride. I know that sounds like a dirty trick na parang if I ask you na gusto ko ba magpakalbo, you have to say yes because that's the answer that I'm looking for. But that's how pride is. Whenever you deny pride is when you have pride. Now we see here in verse 25, God hates pride. However, God still is merciful. And He warns us of our pride. How does He warn us about pride? What I'm about to tell you is, I know you guys already know this. God warns us about our pride. See 12 months before in verse 19, when Daniel interpreted the dream, we were told that he was perplexed. He was scared. He went white. His face went white when Nebuchadnezzar told him about the dream. Do you see the mercy there of God? Do you see it? It's because God gives us warnings through Daniels, through dreams, through friends. If only we recognize them for who they really are. What are they? They're here to tell us that we are not in charge. That someone up there is bigger than us. Now, let me give you an example of who the Daniels in my life are. It sounds kind of redundant, knowing the Daniels here. Alright. It's through these people that God told me to get rid of my pride. Let me show you. These are the people who I really value, and these are the people who tell me that, Karlo, I think, medyo naging mayabang ka na. Karlo, parang mali ang sinabi mo. Now, I want to ask you guys, maybe a Daniel brought you to fellowship today, maybe a Daniel brought you to church today. You better ask yourself, do I know the Daniels in my life? Do I know the dreams that I have in my life that tells me to rid of my pride? If you don't know, you can think about it now. Now, what happened next to Nebuchadnezzar? We know that due to his pride, as we read earlier, he went insane. He was turned into an animal. Even in history, if you read your history books, they don't say what was the cause of his insanity. He went schizophrenic, diba? But historians won't tell you what happened or parang ano yung nag-cause why he went insane. But the Bible here gives us a clear picture of why he went insane. He turned into an animal, he went insane, he went schizophrenic, we all know that. Now, do you think that was an arbitrary action on God's part? Do you think na parang bigla-biglaan lang ginawa ni God na parang Nebuchadnezzar, you look crazy, I'll turn you into a crazy person? No, I don't think God operates that way. What was God telling us through Nebuchadnezzar? I think God was teaching us that pride defaces your humanity. It turns you into an animal. He was telling Nebuchadnezzar that I have to really turn you into an animal for you to realize that. Let me give you an example. Anybody here has pets? You guys have pets? Please show hands. Alright. Anybody here? Alright. You guys have pets. Pets are cute, right? Do you think God also sees pets as cute? Do you think God also sees pets as cute? If that is the case, though, therefore the logical conclusion in this story is because that's why God turned Nebuchadnezzar into an animal, because Nebuchadnezzar was cute. That joke. Right? Joke lang. I really need to get straight to the point here. Right? What I want to ask you guys is, ever felt sad? At parang saktong-sakto, pumasok ka ng kwarto mo, nalulungkot ako, ano ko pinag-problema sa buhay. And then your pet comes to your side, parang at the moment, and then binuhat mo siya, you are the only friend that I have. You are the only pet. You are the only one who understands me. And then you realize your pet's hungry. Gutom pala siya. First point here. Animals are egotistic. What does that mean? Animals think of themselves first. They lack what we humans call empathy or the ability to feel. Pride rids you of your humanity because you're so focused on yourself. Let me give you an example. How can you have pride in a fellowship setting? Here, even in YPF. How? Example, I'm a newcomer. Pagpasok ko dyan, I look at the fellowship, I survey the people, and I think to myself, I don't think these people are the people who would understand me. I don't think these people will care enough for me. I don't think these people are the type to understand my type here. I don't think these people would weep with me. See, pride makes you forget to look at others who are weeping already in this room. Pride rids you of that sense that maybe you are the one sent here to also comfort that person. Because pride makes you so focused on yourself. Second, animals lack joy. Oh, don't tell me animals lack joy. Haven't you heard a cat purr? Haven't you heard a dog? Oh. It means they're happy. It means they're joyful. No. It means that the animal is satisfied. But we are more than animals, okay? We can be satisfied, but we can't be joyful. But what do I mean here? Animals can't rejoice in their tribulations. You don't see a dog rising to the occasion na parang if he doesn't get fed, it's okay, it's just me fasting. You don't see a dog fasting for 7 days, then thanking his owner, thank you for letting me fast. I realize what you were trying to teach me. No, if you ever seen a dog like that, run away. That's not a dog. Alright, animals can't, as the Bible say, rejoice with those who rejoice and weep with those who weep. This is what pride does to us. Pride sucks the joy and humanity out of your life. How can I say that? Look at this. This is verse 27 of chapter 4. It says here, renounce your sins by doing what is right and your wickedness by being kind to the oppressed. How can you do that if you're focused on yourself? If you even think to yourself that I'm already right, pag ako'y tama, ba't ko paisipin that I should renounce my sin? How can I even care for the oppressed if I am the standard of right and wrong here? That is what's happening in Nebuchadnezzar. And I think sometimes that is also the case with us. That we have our hearts so hardened that we can't even allow an opinion of a friend to matter. Now, if someone is so consumed with pride, he can't see these things already because he is so focused on himself. Now, this begs us to question why. How should we respond to pride then? See, up to this point, I've been telling you all that pride is bad. Is there a good kind of pride? Ay, meron bang magandang pride? Yung pride na third. Sorry. Alright, I have to be serious here. I was paid to be here. This brings us to the third point, the healing of pride. Now, here's a great definition of what pride is by Isak Tenson. If you don't know Isak Tenson, she wrote this story out of Africa. It's her life when she was in Africa. She grew up there, and then she wrote something about pride like this. She defined pride as, pride is faith in the idea that God had when He made you. Let me read that to you again. Pride is faith in the idea that God had when He made you. What does this mean? It means that you were not an accident. You were not a surprise. You didn't just pop out of the ground and then look human. No. It means you are special. You are loved by God. You were created in His own image. Now I ask you, if you know that someone loves you so much, that he would go to the point to even die for you, why would you respond to His love with pride? Ask yourself, where's my pride coming from? This is just my interpretation of where your pride could come from, okay? I think this is coming from me. Is your pride coming from... Oops. Oh, yun lang yan. Nawala ako sa momento. Kwento na lang ako. Sa ng araw ko hapon, pero nang na-realize I have to speak today. The sweat in my body was so much that last night, when I was about to sleep, I was already sweating again. And just to tell you, ang lamig ng kwarto ko. Malamig ng kwarto, but I was sweating. It's because wala na akong pride. So, right, going back. Where's my pride coming from? Is your pride coming from your looks? Tingin mo, gwapo ka? Is your pride coming from your brain? You think you're smart? Is your pride coming from your money, your skill, or even your friends? Let me ask you, have you ever seen things in this light? All these things All these things are gifts from God. See, humility sees everything as a gift. And with a gift, you're surprised. It's not what you expect. Yeah? Now, are you saying to me that I should respond to God with, I should respond to everything as a gift? What about my self-esteem? What about my stature? What about what matters to me? Why should I respond to everything as a gift? Then, if you think this way, if you still think about it this way, maybe you're still in charge. Maybe you haven't let go of your pride. Think about this. If God really gave us what we deserve, there are only two things that we deserve here in this world. You only deserve death and judgment. If God gave you what you deserve, you'd be dead right now. We'd be dead right now. So, I'd be really thankful right now with what's happening to me. See, you're so self-made, we're so self-made, you gotta ask yourself, how much of what we really are is under our control? How much of what we really are is under control? We did not choose our gender. We did not choose our parents. We did not choose our race. We did not even choose the century to which you were born. Do you think those things don't matter on who you are today? See, looking back, I was reading this book by Viktor Frankl. It's Man's Search for Meaning. Kwento siya about his time during the Nazi liberation. Are you guys familiar with the Nazi liberation? Ganito lang daw nangyayari dati sa Nazi liberation. Right? He was sent to a concentration camp in Auschwitz. So ngayon, nakapila yung mga tao ngayon, nakapila. Right? There's this SS general trying to dictate kung saan ka pupunta. Two options na mangyayari sa'yo doon. If you're capable of work, you'll be sent to work. But if you look weak, you'll be sent to die. Ito na, pila. Nakapila sila. And then, you look weak, right? The SS general would just point to the left. Kaya pag nakita, Abi, right. Pag pinoy niya right, it means you can work. If left side, it means dadalhin ka na sa isang room, you'd be gassed to death. Don't you think that we're so lucky that we're born here? That the only thing we see left, right, is the traffic enforcer and our teachers? Alright, also friends, pride works in a hard life or a good life. What do I mean? Remember what I said that pride gives you a sense of ownness. Ownness na parang feeling mo sa'yo lahat dapat. Well, you see, in a good life, you'd say to yourself, I think I've worked harder than other people. I think I've worked smarter than other people. I think I've used my resources properly than other people. It means that I'm owed this. I'm owed the success that I have today. I'm owed my magna cum laude or something. I'm owed the good job that I have today. Also, in a bad life, you tell to yourself, or you say to yourself, I've been suffering more than other people. Therefore, I'm owed a good life ahead because I've been suffering more than them. Same thing. Now, how can we have joy and pride in it if this is what happens? Good life and a bad life. Let's see here. Verse 34, Nebuchadnezzar says, at the end of that time, all things in our life are a gift. Brothers and sisters, have you thanked God today? Have you thanked God when you woke up that you're still alive? Have you thanked God for the little things that you have in your life? Your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your health, that we're able to walk? See, I believe that the only problem, our ultimate problem with God is we are so afraid. We are so afraid to lose control over this life. I think I'll repeat that. I think our ultimate problem with God is we are so afraid to lose control over this life. Let me give you an example. We only give control to God what is convenient to us. Look at this statement. I'll choose what I want to follow in the Bible. You're probably telling yourself, or you're probably telling you probably can even tell me, I believe the Bible. I know its teachings. I know all this, but it's me who decides what I want to follow in the Bible. I know all of this, but it's me who decides what I do with my body. Remember the time when you accepted Jesus Christ? You guys still remember that time? Oh, it was a glorious day for heaven, even for you. And guys, I want you to remember that time again. Because just what I said earlier, the gospel is the ultimate answer to pride. It's because when you accepted Christ, you did not just accept Him during Sundays, but we also accepted Him during weekdays. And what we mean when we have Jesus Christ in our lives is that He should manifest in everything that we do. And He should reflect in everything, in every simple thing that we do, even when we talk to other people. I think those things are what we take for granted sometimes. We also need to see that we deserve nothing but judgment from God. But at the same time, we are also the object of His greatest mercy. I'll repeat that. We need to see that we deserve nothing from God but judgment. But God, at the same time, we are also the object of His greatest mercy. That is the gospel. That is what you say when you finally acknowledge that I'm a sinner saved by grace. Just go back to that statement every day of your life and you'll be rid of your pride. And brothers and sisters, God will rid of that pride when you raise your eyes. When you raise your eyes toward heaven. And when you finally tell Him that everything He does is right and just. Allow God to rid you of your pride because His ways are right and just. This is the last point that I want to expound on. His ways are right and just. How many times in your life have you questioned His ways? How many times in your life have you asked yourself, Lord, I don't think I deserve this problem. I don't think I deserve that my dad to be sick or something. My last piece of advice for us all is, God is able to humble those who are proud. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank You for this time that You have given to us, Lord. We thank You for the life of Nebuchadnezzar. We raise our eyes towards You and we ask for forgiveness. Lord, restore us, humble us in Your own mighty power, that we might always dwell with You in good times and in bad times, and see that as a gift, Lord. That whenever we approach, Lord, the altar for communion, we realize that Your blood flows through our veins when we partake of the communion. Lord, change us today, rid us of our pride, and may we be able to be like those people who understand that when there's a person who is in need of help, we might be there. Lord, for we are one family and in one kingdom. In Christ's precious name I pray. Amen. Thank you guys.